Hey everybody, it's 2019, we did it! The world didn't blow up! There's still time. No solar flares. Man, me and Chris were so wrong. We were ready for those bunkers and those zombies and it never came to fruition. That's okay, we still have time this year. We'll do it again. Anyways, welcome to the brand new-ish format and podcast that we're going to be doing. You're Welcome America. It was born out of something we said in a previous podcast on the Danger Zone. We liked the way it sounded and felt and kind of our political leanings on everything that we kind of talk about. We try to avoid having strictly political conversations, but they kind of seep their way into everything that we talk about, or, you know, so we're kind of embracing that at this point. We're going to talk about we're still not shying away from talking about anything controversial like we tried to do with the Danger Zone podcast. And we're just going to talk about whatever the hell we feel like at the time on that day. And we're going to talk about it honestly, openly. I know we don't go live because of the way that we have to record the podcast because me and Chris aren't in the same location. So having said that, although we're not recording live or we're not coming to you live, we never edit anything down. If I say something stupid, it's out there for you to hear. If I say something controversial on accident, on purpose, whatever it is, it's out there unfiltered. It is what we say. So this is it. You're welcome, America. This is going to be our episode 1. We, given the new year, we wanted to talk about some predictions for 2019. Things got a little interesting. They were politically motivated. We had some social media ideas. We talked about maybe the way that people are going to start changing with the way that they interact with social media and just each other. And then we talked about some New Year's resolutions that each of us have going forward for 2019. So if you have any New Year's resolutions, I hope you're doing it. It doesn't have to be something you do on day 1 of 2019. If at all during the course of your life and time on this earth, you decide you want to make a change, you start that day. Or you say, I'm going to start that next Monday. There's huge benefit to creating a date where something is going to exist. It puts that in your brain somewhere and it feeds itself and it makes it become a reality. So, having said all of that, New Year's resolutions, if you have them, put them down in the comments section of this podcast, of this episode. You're going to be putting it out publicly, and you're going to be held accountable to it. All right? Because you don't want to renege on your promise to us, to the public, to the community, that you said you were going to do something. So you're going to follow through and you're going to do it. And so that's what me and Chris wanted to do with this one. So this is it. This is the start of our new-ish podcast. I hope you enjoy it, just like you hopefully enjoyed the Danger Zone. All right? So that's it. This is episode 1. You're welcome, America. Still found on all of the same platforms. On Facebook, our page has basically not changed except for logo and title. Same with YouTube. Logo and title have changed. You can still find all of our archived episodes there, but these will just begin with episode 1 of You're Welcome, America. So let's get right into that. Enjoy. Holy shit, Christopher.
Hey.
It has been way too fucking long since we did this shit.
Yeah, man. It's been, what were we saying?
Dude,
almost 2 months now?
It's been legit almost 2 months, and it's probably damaging my soul irreparably. What did I just say?
Irreparably?
It's like potato, probably. Is it one of those things?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
Who the fuck says potato, though?
Learned and learned.
I don't know anyone that says learned. Maybe President Bush.
I hear it on NPR, so I assume if you're an intellectual, you're supposed to say learned people.
Sounds pretty highbrow.
It is. It's really highbrow.
Fucking
higher
NPR.
than me.
Dude, Happy New Year, man.
Yeah, man. Happy New Year.
Goddamn
I
2019.
don't think we've talked. I don't think we've talked this year.
Just briefly. You were milking a well-deserved hangover, and I was crushing the first day of the year.
Yes, that sounds about right.
The boys kept me in a nice state of sobriety through December 31st. Woke up on the 1st, got some workouts in, made some new logos, which I hope everybody loves, and crushed it, man. Crushed it.
Yeah. No, sounds like a great start, man.
Pretty good.
I'm pretty jealous. That sounds like a better New Year's than I had.
No, it's been solid, man. It's been solid.
Yeah. So we're starting with a new relaunching our podcast, and we got obviously a new name, new logos, a little bit of a new format structure.
That's right. You're welcome, America. Yeah, man.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, I dig it. I think we're gonna really fucking do a lot better in what we're planning and the amount of podcasts that we anticipate putting out and just everything.
The quality, I think we're gonna try and really get some pure, uncut information and work in a little bit more, or at least on my part, I'm gonna try and bring more facts and do some pre-homework instead of just kind of going off the cuff for me, and try and add that to the podcast, and hopefully people can take away a little bit of useful information to go about their lives.
I dig it. It's going to be great because I'm going to continue inventing facts, and I think that's going to be a great balance.
Awesome. I love your invented facts. Like,
just creating
better than real facts, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. It's alternative facts. It's a fucking thing now. It's damn it. I wish I knew what the word or phrase of 2018 was, but I swear to God, it was it might have been alternative facts was like a front runner.
It was. It didn't get it. I think. Oh man, I read that and I totally forgot about it.
Yeah.
It was like it was a weird word. I was like, eh.
Yeah. Alternative facts was up there though, man. That's good, man. I don't know what it is. I usually kind of don't give a shit about the New Year's thing, and I'm like, I always just do, it's just another day. We all just have this calendar thing that we're obsessed about. It's literally just the day after tomorrow. Like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
January 1, whatever year, who gives a shit? But for whatever reason this year, I was like, you know what? I'm going to fucking do some things. It might have been because I was sober the night before, so I got a good night's sleep, and I was able to wake up, put things into perspective. But yeah, I'm ready to hit this fucking year running, man. Things are good.
No, I feel the same way, except for I have no energy, so I feel like I'm going to hit this year running on pure willpower.
And caffeine, bro.
Yeah, caffeine, willpower. And we'll see how far that takes me.
Love it.
But
it'll take you at least to the middle of the afternoon. And then you got to do it again maybe.
Geez. I mean, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
I might need an afternoon nap before I can continue after that.
It's not a terrible idea, man. There are some serious health benefits to napping.
For sure.
Definitely are.
Man, Europeans do it. Like that's
siesta
that's a thing in a lot of countries around the world. They'll close down for 2-3 hours in the middle of the day.
Yeah, not
lunch,
not
siesta,
America.
Whatever.
Those lazy ass fucking foreigners. Goddamn, wasting their time sleeping on the job.
I know, man.
Get out of here with that shit. Not in America.
Yeah. Anyways, so what's up? What are we gonna talk about today? We're gonna talk about some predictions for the year.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, that's what I really wanted to make some predictions with this kind of reboot, first new podcast.
I'm so excited to hear your predictions. I want to fucking you and I, not being broadcast to the public, have a few semi predictions and some bets going on, but we haven't.
Yeah, we can talk about that too.
But besides that, we haven't discussed much. And I'm looking forward to hearing your predictions so I can just dismantle the fuck out of them or agree. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure.
I don't know either. I'm trying to figure out on the fly what my predictions are. I have some general ideas, but let's talk through them, and then we can check back up at the end of the year and maybe have a little competition, informal competition, see who was on the mark.
I love that this is on the record, so that's a beautiful thing to me.
Yeah. That's the best part about doing a podcast. So when I call you out on your bullshit, it's like on the record, and I can point back. And
I love it. All right. So real quick, let's go over our previous prediction slash bet that we had, and then we'll get into what you want to
Okay.
talk about real quick. So, so your prediction basically was that at some point in the next, or within Donald Trump's presidency, I believe, it wasn't necessarily a timeline of this year. It was just in general up until the next election, that at some point he would be impeached and or imprisoned, or it had to be both of those. I'm kind of like, I'm losing the specifics of the bet already.
Okay,
And it's been
so
like
basically
fucking weeks.
it was he will not make it out of the presidency without either being impeached, imprisoned, or resigning.
Oh, that's
my-
perfect. Yeah, okay.
He won't make it to the end of the term in office.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And
But I could even go a little farther. I could say
let's go further.
I'll say effectively by the end of this year. And I know that's kind of a word that's open for interpretation, but
By the end of the
I'll
year
clarify.
2019.
By the end of the year 2019, he will be already a lame duck president. If he's still even in office, he will be fully caught up in criminal charges, and at least Congress will have voted to impeach him.
The voting to impeach thing doesn't do much for me, because they
I'm not
fucking
saying
they
I'm not
impeached
saying
Clinton.
just. Well, they tried to impeach Clinton.
No, he was impeached. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he was impeached.
But it doesn't
then-
mean that you
but-
leave. See, people have like this. They have like a. They don't actually know. Like people think, oh, he was
Yeah,
impeached. He
impeached
left
doesn't
off.
mean you're fired.
That doesn't mean dick. Yeah, you just got a scolding or some shit. I guess I don't really know, but
Well, I mean, they tried to nail him with the impeachment stuff, and they brought him up on impeachment charges, but that was as far as I got.
yes,
I'm saying Trump and his administration will go to that next step, to where they'll bring him up on impeachment charges, and action will be taken because of it.
Okay, so you think by the end of this year, 2019, Trump will, by all accounts, already be on his way out?
Yes.
Okay. Well, shit. I mean,
I mean-
wait. We have elections, what, in 2020? January of 2020?
January.
Is that right?
No. The primaries will start,
Or no,
For-
November.
kickoff in, Iowa and all that stuff in, I believe, like January of 2020.
Yeah, okay.
But, yeah.
Shit. So wait, when did
Yeah.
Trump actually take office then? Was it in January of 2016 or 17 then? Man,
He took office
am I-
January 20th
am I an
on
idiot?
17th. No, we're coming up on the 2-year mark in about, I don't know, like two weeks plus
Okay,
a couple
so we
days.
hold the election in November of 2016. He takes office in January of 2017. So technically, our next president will be 2021, but we'll vote.
They'll be
in
elected at the end of
2020.
and take office at the beginning of 21.
Man, I can't believe I just had to even fucking cover that with you right now. Wow.
Yeah, no, it's
Wow.
well, it's a new year, trying to get
I
the dates
guess
straight and everything. Yeah,
the 16.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Whatever. Okay, so by the end of this year, he'll be on his way out. All right.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I disagree.
I really do.
I mean, I think he'll make it all the way through his presidency, so I definitely disagree with the 2019 prediction.
Okay.
But
Right.
okay, that's fun stuff. We'll see. Time
Yeah.
shall tell, my
Do
friend.
you think he'll make it to re-election run? And do you think if he does run, will he be re-elected?
You know, that I am less certain about. Honestly, it's hard because with the way that our electoral system works, I think that unfortunately, because the way that the country is divided and the way that our votes are cast, I think that he can still technically, if he does run for a second term, win the fucking presidency without having the popular vote, still having fucking electorates, and technically still do that. I think the Republicans have a good thing going with this electoral college thing because it makes all of the middle countries or all the middle states that have fewer populations worth way more than they should be, and it's a fucking good thing going forward for all those Republicans. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're they're behind keeping the Electoral College. They're behind keeping gerrymandering
For
because
sure.
they've lost every other edge, and gerrymandering in Electoral College is their path to victory,
Yes.
all across the country.
I mean, it did. Yeah, it happened. What, Bush, the first election, right?
Yeah, Bush versus Gore. Gore won about 1 million more
And then
total
there's
votes.
that whole Florida fiasco.
And then the Florida came down to about 500 votes.
500
they stopped the
votes!
recount. Yeah, they stopped the recount like midway through and gave it to Bush.
Yeah. So
And that was partially on the Democrats' fault too, because they conceded pretty early without letting the process play out.
yeah. Well, the Dems have been fucking up as of late. But anyways,
They've been pretty spineless, honestly, for the last 20 years.
so I would say I don't know. I think if he does make it through this first term, which I do believe that he will, despite what I believe is best for the country, I think that there's a really strong chance that he'll run for a second term. I don't know. I think, like I said, he'll make it through this one. If there's so much political drama after all of the Mueller everything investigation comes out that it's too much, I think he'll survive that. And I don't know if it'll be too much for them to support him going forward for a second term. So that one, I'm really on the fence about that. I don't.
Yeah. Well,
That's
one of
a
the
toughie.
reasons, some of the my personal, I guess a weather vane to on this situation to kind of see which way the winds are blowing. The political winds are, if you look at his biggest supporters historically over the last, I guess 3 years, if you count the campaign and everything, some far right people, high profile people are starting, in my opinion, starting to hedge their bets against him, against being a supporter of him by criticizing him pretty harshly now. And he's about ready to get, tomorrow, because today's the second, tomorrow,
Yeah, the House
Democrats take control of Congress, and they are pretty vocal. There's a huge chunk of them that are pretty vocal about starting to look at impeachment proceedings, and that's one of the few issues that the Democrats are kind of coalescing around and really building their stance against it, and so I really think that they're going to follow through with this, as much as they don't ever follow through with anything when they're playing hardball. I think this might be a big change.
Maybe. I mean,
It just feels different.
It's going to be a big change no matter what. I know there are a lot of freshmen congressmen and women that are going to be in the House now, which is a really good step forward. I think just in general that we need to get fresh blood in the House. Yep. Besides having term limits and all that shit, I think just getting younger people in there is a fucking huge step forward. Make marijuana legal, and so anyways, I don't know. I think you're right. I think impeachment proceedings will probably go forward because I think the Dems almost have to fucking do it, because having control of the House and sitting back and not doing it seems kind of crazy. So I think they'll at least, move forward and all that. They might even be able to impeach him, but I still will have zero effect on him leaving office. So anyways, we beat the shit out of that with a dead horse. What is your next prediction for 2019?
Oh, man. So before we forget, I want to talk
Robot
about
sex dolls? Oh, sorry.
Yes. How did you know, man? Let's see here. So we had our you started to allude to it earlier, and you got away from it, but we have our own personal side bet for the end of the year.
Oh,
Remember
yeah, right.
Little things. So we have a guitar playing challenge. We're both going to learn a couple songs and have a what do you call it? A shred off? Does that sound good?
Man. Yeah.
And we're gonna have a trophy and everything. I'm looking at designs, actually. I've been looking at trying to design some kind of like demonic 70s 80s metal creature with like holding like a rainbow in its fist or something, like super old school metal,
That would be amazing.
we're gonna throughout the year we're gonna really try and grow our social media platforms, have more of a better presence, and be more involved, get feedback from people, and really just grow our audience. And then we want them to. We're gonna post some videos of us with our newfound skills,
Being terrible, yeah.
And let our friends and listeners decide who gets the awesome demonic trophy.
I love it. To be fair, people, I'm coming into this with a pretty serious deficit. Dude, please. Having said that, I still my goal is to just outwork Chris to death. That's it.
Well, I haven't started yet.
If I can just put in ridiculous hours, there's definitely a chance I could possibly catch up and surpass. Yeah, I'm just focused. I'm all about this fucking W.
You're already
bro.
winning. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm all about this W.
Yeah.
But I dig it. I love it. I'm excited for the fucking trophy. I was even thinking maybe we could do we could do a halvesies split on a new guitar, maybe with some.
Ooh.
And then we each go halves on it, and then the winner fucking gets it or some shit. Nothing too ridiculous,
big stakes.
But maybe something nice. But yeah, I'm excited about that because chips are all in. I've been wanting to learn how to play guitar forever, and finally my fucking feet are being held to the fire, and that is exactly what I need in this new year.
Yeah, man. That's I've been meaning to get back into it. It's been 12 years since I've actually played anything, and I wasn't that great to begin with. But yeah, no, this is a good motivator. Beating you at things always brings out the best in me.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Nobody wants
showing your friends up is the best motivator ever.
God damn it, of course it is. The shit talking that will ensue. I can't wait. Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna be posting videos of me shredding Enya. I don't even know if that's possible.
Oh. That would be amazing. Death metal Enya.
It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be legs crossed, floating in the air, just raging on guitar.
Damn, that's
gonna
you do that. I'll concede.
100%. My second goal, to be able to levitate. It seems more attainable than playing guitar, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm pretty certain of that.
So all right. So
that's a good one.
That's our. What else we got? You got any predictions for any world events, world politics?
God. I feel like it's too much tragedy.
Leaders. I know. I
hate to be the bearer of bad news in the world. No, man, honestly, I could make some bullshit positive predictions, try to throw some happiness out of the world.
Yeah, let's both try and make a positive prediction for the year.
I don't know what. I don't even know what that would be. God.
Well, I kind of already made mine. You know.
That
Trump
is a pretty That could be a pretty positive step forward.
But that's based on a lot of negative shit. So let's do a true positive prediction. What do you think the best sort of outlook for the new year? It doesn't have to be just in the U.S. or politically or anything, but what do you think? As far as like lives in the world, what do you think will improve the most?
I think globally it's harder to think about or wrap my head around, because if you really want to go deep globally, you're like, kids still don't have food in a lot of the world. And you're like, that seems like an easy one to fix. Why the fuck haven't we done that yet? So, God, let's hope that humanitarian things become more of forefront topic in just everybody's daily lives. I know it's hard. I don't want to be the person that's like foot stomping on shit. It's like, yeah, you should think about that all the time. It's kind of a downer, but I don't know. I would like for people. I hope that we move away from the glamour aspects of social media and Instagram and all that shit. And it's good to have entertainment, and I don't think anybody should not have that, or that form of kind of relaxing from the dire fucking situations going on around the world. But hopefully we can use it a little bit more for having positive impacts on just global issues and stuff like that, and have less of that 10-second memory. It's like, you hear something terrible in the news and then it doesn't matter 2 days later because somebody said something racist and everybody's up in arms about that, which, you should be to some extent, but how that surpasses genocide in the world is kind of beyond me a little bit, but maybe that's
Yeah.
just my whiteness coming through. Not that I should have an opinion
Yeah.
about anything.
No, you are overextending your privilege a little bit here.
I often
But,
do.
I think if I were going to make a positive prediction, I would say that. Oh, I totally lost. I was actually thinking about your prediction more. So let me real quick just
I don't even know if
piggyback
mine
on what
was
you're saying.
I don't even know if
So
mine was a
yours was saying
prediction.
that. Let me rephrase yours and see if I got it right. So you're saying that you think social media will kind of pull back a little bit. People will stop being so fake, living like that fake glamour social media lives. You think that'll kind of self-correct a little bit? Is
I
that
think
what you're predicting?
Yeah, you know what? I need to narrow my focus down a little bit, but yeah, I think that there's gonna be a rebound, and people are gonna find less fulfillment than they're trying to attain from thumbs ups and likes and all of that shit. I think people are gonna slowly start realizing that it's superficial bullshit that just hits this little serotonin receptor in your head and makes you feel good for about 10 seconds until you feel shitty again. And hopefully it self-corrects on its path, and we start using social media for more of a positive aspect. I mean, you remember when Facebook, I default to Facebook because that's like all I use, but it
Yeah.
used to be like you shared with your friends and you saw pictures and it was pleasant things and you heard from
Yep.
someone you hadn't talked to in fucking 5 years and it's actually a nice thing. Now if I go on my Facebook feed, I've clicked too many things, or Facebook has decided I need to see all this bullshit that's just dumb, that has no real benefit to my life except
Yeah.
for hilarious memes, which I still love. But that social bonding interaction that you used to see in social media in the heyday and the first days of adoption, just as far as I can tell, don't exist anymore. You're seeing
Yeah.
things from people you have no fucking clue who they are, who live in this not real life, who have doctored photos to make them look like they're, they're not, it's not real. It's not real,
Yeah.
people. Stop fucking.
No, I saw this app that came up on my social media feed. I was kind of scrolling through, and it was an app designed to help people retouch their photos, and it had like different types of abs that you could select and drag and
That's
drop and
amazing.
twist
Oh,
onto
for
your fucking
sure.
your photo. Like how to increase your muscle tone, and yeah, like it was literally like that's
amazing.
what the app was for, to fool people and to
Yeah.
lie to people about how you look.
Yeah. It's
Does
crazy.
it get any more superficial? And what's the point? What's the return on that?
Dude, you get them
To
likes,
use it on a
bro.
dating app, and then you meet up with somebody, and they're like, "Oh, you're not a bodybuilder." Oh yeah, that was a fucking fake app. Like I don't understand the logic really behind it, other than people just want to sit behind their keyboards, not work out, and pretend to the world
I
that they're
think
working
that's
out.
I think that's a chunk. I think for sure that's a chunk, man. People that really do live behind their keyboards and they just sit there and collect those little brownie point likes, and that's what feeds them. And they don't even
Oh,
maybe
man.
necessarily need to interact with the real world or even go on those real dates because they have those abs. But if they've got people messaging them and giving them thumbs ups and whatever comments like, dude, you look fucking awesome, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, hell yeah, I don't know, but
Yeah, I have a hard time wrapping my mind around getting some sort of boost, emotional boost from compliments on doctored and fake photos.
yeah.
I don't understand the psychology fully behind people that do that. I understand real photos. If you've done something and you have a good photo of yourself, or you've been working out, whatever it is, and you
For
post
sure.
it, and people then liking it because you've earned it or worked for it, or it just happens to be a good picture. I can understand the psychological benefits to yourself, the self-esteem boosts and things like that you get addicted to with all these social media, the likes and the hearts,
And that
things
is
like
a good
that,
thing. That is a good
it is.
thing.
It's positive reinforcement when you've done something, but to use
For
it
sure.
to get positive reinforcement when you haven't actually done anything, or when you're trying to just trick your friends primarily, or your followers, I don't know. It seems that would cause more of a spiritual black hole than anything else, knowing deep down inside that they're not actually liking a picture of you. They're liking a fake version of you.
Yeah. I mean, I watched, oh my God, I don't know how I brought myself to watch this, but I watched the documentary on Netflix. I believe it's called The American Meme. It's something.
I saw that. I passed it by, but I did see that. Yeah.
For sure. Passing it by was a pretty solid choice. I don't know. I think it was because I don't indulge in social media very much. I really don't. If I find myself on Facebook just scrolling through shit, I get about 2 or 3 minutes in and I literally just go, what the fuck am I doing? And I close it because it's just a time filler and I don't know. So I felt curious. I don't have Instagram. I don't have Twitter. I mean, I technically do, but I don't do anything on them. So I was like, what the fuck is out there? And it was soul wrenching, man. It was the shit that exists that people like, and the people that are content creators that do all of this shit. Like, you literally see women in this documentary that are having legit photo shoots to make it look like they're taking just a candid selfie image of themselves to post on social media, so that women and whoever all around the world, guys will be like, holy shit, this girl's super hot. Like, okay. And women will be like, oh, she's so beautiful. I wish I looked like it. Like, of course you don't. You didn't spend $5,000 to have a picture taken of you, dude. Like, anyway, if you want to get nuts, man, watch that. And if it doesn't shock your system a little bit to be like, what in the fuck is this? Then I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I need to. You know, honestly, like,
I think you're good. I don't think I need to.
Yeah, I've got a grasp. It's out of control. People are ridiculous, and they're addicted to social media and
it's
to
nuts.
getting. It's a popularity contest instead of being in like a high school or a small clique popularity contest. It's a global popularity contest now.
Yeah, exactly. You used to have to only compare yourselves to like the couple hundred people in your town and that one brilliant kid, and you're like, well, I'm never going to do that, and you're fine with it.
Yeah.
Now you have to compare yourself to the Elon Musk of the world that are just the 0.00001 percenters of just humanity in general. It's insane.
Yeah. Everybody has to be, Elon Musk combined with The Rock. To feel good about themselves. And it's just such an impossible standard to maintain. But yet we're told through primarily social media that's what we should be. That's what we should be striving for. And if we're not good enough. And it's doing so much damage. And that's why I think this prediction that it will backslide a little bit as far as its influence and its absolute dominance of so many people's lives. I think we're kind of hitting that high water mark right now. And with all the Russian interference and the social engineering through, media platforms and things like that to kind of divide our country and more things like that are being exposed and having light shined on them, I think it'll contribute to that sort of lowering of that watermark. You know what I mean? Like, less and less people will care. People will start seeing through more and more bullshit, especially more the younger generations that have grown up completely on social media. Their whole lives, as far as they can remember, are social media. They're getting older. They're more savvy. They're also more addicted to it, but they're more savvy about it. I think the older generation that was tricked by it is catching up slowly. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking more about the political landscape. There's a lot of the older generation that people probably above 55 that just use maybe Twitter or Facebook and weren't fully aware of how it could be manipulated and how lies could spread, and that everything you read on Facebook isn't true. I know it seems silly to even have to say that.
I know.
But if you're a 60-year-old person that, is retired, living in a small town, and that's the only social media platform you have, and with their algorithms that they have that we now know target specific information at certain people, which enables that bubble that people live in politically to really grow a thick skin. You know, it's really hard to break through that bubble when everything is designed to keep you in it.
Yeah. I mean, that's like those generations. They had Walter Cronkite, and that was the dude, man. And what he said was just fucking true. And you really didn't have much other option other than to be like, dude, I have to trust this guy. I can read the New York Times, I guess, or whatever. But I mean, for the most part, you had a handful of news outlets, and what they said had to be true because that's all the fucking. And now they have the same mindset of this person is speaking to me about the quote unquote news, so I take this at face value that it's fucking true. And now, I remember there was a guy who he grew up in the Soviet Union, and it's funny. He had, what was his quote? He said something along the lines of that in the Soviet Union, there was more truth in their news than we have in the U.S. today, which obviously is not correct. But the way that he was trying to frame it is that in the U.S., we'll see news and we assume that it's fucking true to some extent, and we take it as fact. Whereas in the Soviet Union, you didn't believe fucking anything that you heard. So you had to cross-reference 10 different things to try to pick away at where the truth might lie. So obviously he's incorrect in what he's saying, but you kind of get the gist of where.
Yeah, I think the fact that we don't know what to believe. We have to.
Exactly.
We hear news and we're like, nah, I got to double check this, you know, and then you have to look it up. And having the certainty in Soviet Russia that, hear the news, that's a lie. And just to be able to assume that does provide a little bit more clarity than...
a little bit.
It's sort of like on Twitter, you know, I vent at the administration currently in the White House on Twitter. That's the only reason I got it for a cathartic release. But I'll read Donald Trump tweets, and I have to double check because there's a ton of parody accounts out there. Yeah. And I have to like open it up and follow the tweet a little bit to find out if it's a parody account or not.
Well, that's so hard because isn't that
he says things that I'm like, no, that's a parody account, and then I look it up and I'm like, holy fuck, he actually said that.
I know.
And vice versa with the parody accounts that I think, yep, that's real.
For sure. Shit, no, you're like, he was tame today. Yeah. I don't know. But anyways, no, I hope social media self-corrects itself. I hope that people do. I hope that, like you said, the generation that have been chasing these likes and posting these selfies, like people think they're gonna get famous, because people do get famous, but it's a small ass. There are 1 billion plus people on Facebook. Do you know how many of them actually make a living doing that shit and are real famous? Not a fucking lot, man. Not a fucking lot. So you getting your selfies and your likes, you're not gonna be famous. And I don't know why you think you need to be famous. Just fucking settle down, live your life. I guarantee you'll have a boost in happiness just living in the moment and not being stuck to that fucking Black Mirror and just
That's funny. I was just thinking about that. I was thinking about the episode with the talent contest, you know, that one.
Oh, dude, I still haven't watched that one. I need to go through and I need to watch all the ones I haven't seen, man. I've seen maybe about half of them, and they're amazing.
You need, next time you're in a binge watching mood, knock that off your list.
Yeah, I got to start doing that. Okay, we beat the shit out of that. What else do we have do you have another prediction, positive or negative? What are we thinking?
I don't know. What did I say my positive one was?
I don't know. You didn't. Oh, no, right. You got sidetracked.
I jumped on yours. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's really close to the same. I think the war on truth, if you will, over the last 2-3 years, the purposely blurring of the line between fact and fiction, above and beyond the normal stuff that we've been dealing with in politics since, you know, history immemorium. I think that will shift. Also, I think people are maybe I'm giving Americans specifically too much credit, but I think there really is a thirst and a hunger for truth and facts.
I think so,
they've been
too.
force-fed so much bullshit through, like, all we were just talking about, all these social media, that facts will start to have more of an impact, and lies will actually start to affect people. Because right now, you can lie, you can say whatever you want, and nobody cares. There's no repercussions. There's no backlash. There's nothing. You know? It's just accepted that, oh yeah, everybody lies. And I think that's such a horrible thing in this world right now, is just to accept lying as the norm.
Yeah.
Because it used to be, if your word was no good,
yeah,
you had to like earn every bit of trust. And
dude, you were shunned from life.
Yeah. You can't trust that guy. You're done.
Yeah.
You know, you got to move to a new town and start over, and that was kind of how it was.
That's crazy. You know what? I have not really taken enough of a step back and really thought about that. Like, that's so true. If you shook somebody's hand and you were a fucking liar, like that was it. Nobody dealt with you anymore. Unless somehow you made your millions of dollars and you move on and you live in that weird game of life where that's just what you do. But I mean, it's true. And then you look at our highest office in our country. I saw some statistic that like President Trump lied 3 times every day over the course of 2018 or some shit.
I think it was 8 times.
Was it 8? Oh god.
And that's not like the same lies. That's 8 new lies a day.
3 sounded absurd. So, god. Oh god.
Yeah. Well, he's been president less than 2 years, and the fact checkers, there are people, you know, for all different types of networks that check into his daily, monthly, yearly lives.
Oh, yeah, he's keeping
up at like 9,000.
He's keeping people employed, man, and busy.
I've seen these people too, like on being interviewed, and they look exhausted.
For
they
sure.
look like their soul is exhausted. You know.
Yeah. That's a good one. No, I don't know. I think that's good. I think that's a huge thing. And I think kind of somewhat in line with that is I think that our generation, the generation coming after us, are going to be more inclined to new media outlets of information, like podcasts, like YouTube or whatever, long form conversations, like real discussions about things, and not like I haven't had cable in fucking 8 years or something. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, who the hell has cable television except to watch sports? I'll give you sports. First of all, you shouldn't have cable for that because you can buy packages, and that's stupid.
Yep.
But whatever. Like, who really nowadays is sitting down and getting information from Fox and all that crap? Like, that, I think, is going away of the past. I think we're going to get back to having people that are actual experts in areas of topics, that those are the people we're going to start listening to, and not some talking bobblehead on fucking TV that has a guest on for 60 seconds and they have to pray to God they can get some semblance of information passed on to some idiot viewer that has to fucking deal with Sean Hannity or some shit at the same time. Like, it's the worst format ever. I think, and this is not a prediction for this year, but I think slowly but surely, hopefully we are moving away from that shit, and we're going to start listening to people who know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, no, I hope so. I think that sort of model that we're currently operating under, it's not sustainable long term. If you completely abandon knowledge and expertise and facts and truth, if you write that off as a society, man, you're in big trouble. You're in big trouble for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, hey, man, I don't know, and I can have no personal opinion on it because I don't know, but God damn it, I got to go with 99% of scientists that believe global warming is real, at least influenced by human interaction with the globe. And that's going to affect us long as fuck term, man. And yeah, that's the kind of shit.
That was another thing, actually. I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that environmental issues will start to take a really big stage going forward. A lot of the bad things, the chaos that has come out of the last 2 to 3 years has been on so many fronts. You know, the environmental deregulations, the financial deregulations, the war on truth, if you will, the divisiveness, in our country and around the world, and the rise of dictators in all these other countries. So we've been swamped with all this bad news, and for a lot of people, climate and the environment comes after jobs and personal their personal life satisfaction.
Yeah, the most short-sightedness ever.
I think we're all starting to kind of get a grasp on the craziness that we have going on right now, and we can deal with more things once we have, sort of like, you got to make a mess worse before you can clean it up. I don't know if you've ever heard that. But,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like
what I feel like we've been in the middle of, and I feel like we're on the cusp of really kind of coalescing now. We see the monster in front of us for what it is, and now we're going to try and systematically start to, climb back up that hill and put things in proper perspective and priority. That's my hopeful prediction for the environment, and that it will take a higher priority in more people's lives around the world.
I hope so, and I think so too. Once we get certain people out of control of government, and I don't think it's realistic to think that poor people scraping by should really have too much concern for the environment or anything like that. They have more important things to worry about on a day-to-day basis.
I agree.
That's a smaller percentage of people. At least I like to speak for our country, because
we shouldn't be looking at the bottom 20% of society.
Exactly.
And I'm talking, socioeconomic bottom 20%.
Yeah.
For solutions, and we shouldn't be burdening them with fixing the world.
No, or even giving.
It should be inverted. It should be the top 20% of people that should care about the world. They're killing it, man. They're doing great in life.
Yeah,
and they have enough resources and time and influence that they could actually make a change. And they've got such a good thing going. And I'm making generalities here, but they've got such a good thing going. Why would they want to pollute it? Why would they want to destroy when their family is set for 5-6 generations?
Exactly.
Why do you want to destroy their legacy?
It doesn't matter. Like, when we look at, dude, you're affecting my kids and my kids' kids. They don't even have to look at it that way, because they have so many resources, financial and otherwise, that they're like, who gives a fuck? I'm fine. My kids are going to be fine. The world could go to shit, and we'll still have our mansion bunker or whatever the fuck they're going to do. They're like, we'll be able to afford whatever we need to survive, and it's not a big deal until the bomb drops, or, water's worth more than the dollar and all that shit anymore. But
which in some place it is.
Yeah, but I mean, so they don't need to give a shit. But I was talking to somebody recently, and they were like,
they think they don't, but they do.
They do.
They really do.
Oh, for sure. When the water
when
melts,
there's no water.
Yeah.
They might live an extra couple years longer than a lot of people on the bottom, but eventually, if there's no water, there's no clean water.
Yeah.
If there's no fertile soil, then there's no fertile soil.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody recently, and they were like, I was talking about clean energy, renewable resources. I think is sparked because I was talking about Tesla and Elon Musk and shit. And they're like, why? We have so much petroleum, which is true. We have way more barrels of fucking petroleum that's hidden, that Saudi Arabia doesn't disclose. U.S. is the biggest producer of petroleum or oil or something like that right now in the world. Yeah. And they're like, why? We have all of this resource. Why switch to solar? We can tap this for a lot longer than we thought. And I'm like, but why kick the fucking can? Why would you do that? When you know eventually we're going to have to adopt this, why would you not want to be the first adopter? China's kicking our ass in renewable resources, and they're going to continue to be ahead of us in the game for years and generations to come because they're first adopters. Why continue to pollute the earth when we're going to have to go that way anyways? It's like, it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't, except for you can't export the sun for profit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can build companies and an empire maybe making solar panels, but you can't bottle it up and sell it to to needy countries for a profit.
But that's the thing is the funny thing about it is the person that I'm talking to has zero benefit from the exporting of petroleum or anything like that. Like you directly do not benefit from that. So why are you even defending this or defending the CEOs of Exxon and all that shit? Like, no, dude, it doesn't make sense.
Most people that are defenders, that are true defenders, are they're in the same game. You know what I mean? They're in the make as much money by any means necessary game. Like,
it's just
the average person doesn't give a shit about ExxonMobil except for maybe a talking point, to the left or to the right. But to them, it's all profit. I mean, they're mandated by their charters to do whatever they can to maximize profit.
For sure.
Regardless. There's no consideration for the earth or the people that they're affecting, as long as there's a profit motive. And there's already a system set up. The whole world is set up to run on oil. So they're going to milk that until they can't make a profit on it anymore.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I understand where those people are coming from, for sure. And they slowly start investing money in renewable resources because they have to prepare for the future when they allow the future to happen.
Diversify a little bit.
Yeah, when they're ready 50 years from now, when they've tapped all the oil and they're like, all right, well, we got to be able to spring this solar thing out. Like, they'll be ready to go. But my confusion is when normal blue-collar people are defending this shit. I'm like, it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me.
No, it doesn't. There's not a real logical connection
but it comes back to
make there.
That's what your team says, so you toe the party line. And
it's identity politics. Yeah. And for some reason, big corporations have captured the hearts and minds of
they have.
The poorest among us.
Yeah, they have. It's good. Okay.
It's bizarre.
Let's get into some New Year's resolutions. I know I know you necessarily haven't really thought about this a whole lot. A
little bit.
I kind of have. I've tried to put in place a few things over the last 2 days to try to get those things rolling. I don't necessarily have a rigid, hard and fast, like, this is what my resolution is. So I'm going to work that out, and I'll get back on a later episode and have serious guidelines for how I'm going to hold myself accountable to this shit.
Okay.
And I think for everybody out there, I think publicly saying what your resolutions are, not even New Year's, just in general, trying to make positive life changes, I think doing that in a public forum is the best thing you can do. If you're not even worried about somebody calling you out, hopefully your own conscience will try to keep you from being untruthful about sticking to what you say you're going to do. It kind of comes back to the honesty thing that we talked about before. So for me, what have I tried to do? One resolution for me for sure is we're going to be a lot better about this podcast. We're going to be on a much tighter schedule. We're going to stick to those things, and we're going to get these out on a consistent basis, on a scheduled basis, barring any catastrophic injuries or life events that may occur.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good one for both of us. And then for me personally, this is maybe a silly one. I'm going to try to eat out less, to pay for pre-made food less at restaurants or otherwise.
Those are good.
I think for me, it becomes a lack of preparation in me being meal prepped and ready, or just having things in, or me being lazy. Not even necessarily fast food. I don't indulge in that too often. So even just spending the money to go out to eat, even like a pretty decent meal, it's money that I don't need to spend on that. And it honestly has a lot more calories and stuff in it than you would think, even getting a good meal once they start putting everything into it. So I want to try to hold myself accountable to that and set some sort of limit where I'm allowed to do it. Like once a week I'm allowed to eat out, or once every 2 weeks I'm allowed to eat out, or something like that, just to indulge, to be fair to myself. So that's one of my resolutions that I'd like to do.
That's a good one. I think I have some similar resolutions as far as like health and stuff, but I'm going to try and break it down month by month. I think that's the biggest difference this year. I'm going to try and just have a solid January, and then once January's over, then kind of refocus, regroup, look at things, and be like, okay, now February, I'm going to really focus on maybe these shortcomings, these things I didn't do as good of a job in January. I'm going to try and clean up and do better in February and so on throughout the year.
Yeah.
One of the superficial what is it called, resolutions that I have is, it's been quite a while. It's been, I don't know, 6 years or so since I've had like abs, like any kind of like real, like, tonality where you can see separation and things like that. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna fucking do it. So that's my superficial.
Hell yeah. In a healthy way.
Resolution. Yeah, in a super healthy way. Yeah.
Obviously.
And is that about it? Is that all I want for life, is abs?
That would just make me so happy.
I feel like there was an actual,
God.
like a real important one, not something so.
No, that's the best
flippant,
one. That's the best thing I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, man. Like, being honest, I just, I don't want abs. So what else?
No, for me,
No, that's it, man.
No, I mean, honestly, a lot of it, for me, I probably should come up with something like I'm gonna be more career oriented or something like that, or I'm gonna try to focus and get to this next level of achievement. But God, my brain just doesn't give a fuck, unfortunately. It's so terrible. It's so terrible somehow based on the way that our society lives and thrives. But that shit doesn't make me happy, so I don't focus on it. It's something that we
Yeah.
all need to do to get by, and try to do it to, a really good capability of what I can do. And I want to do it obviously in a really, really good way, but it's not something that I've ever obsessed over, and it's not something that I feel like is the best use of my time on this planet. So,
Yeah.
having
No,
s-
I'm with you, man. It's hard to get super motivated and stay motivated for something you're doing for reasons that aren't actually personally satisfying.
yeah,
I'm not a person who's motivated to do something like that for success in a monetary way, and that's just how the world is driven largely right now. Like, everything's about how much you earn.
yeah,
And I have a hard time, like, that just doesn't motivate me. I would much rather be the average person doing something I really like, even if I'm doing it at an average level.
for sure.
And that's just
I totally agree.
people are wired differently,
Yeah,
That's why sociopaths represent such a disproportionate ratio of positions of power, because they're willing to do whatever they can to get the power and the money and the fame for the sake of power, money, and fame.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Some people get great benefit out of whatever, quote unquote, that happiness is of collecting coins, and obtaining power. That's a real thing and a real motivator and driver for that certain group of people. It's not me. And
Yeah.
I'm maybe kind of feel like I'm lucky that my brain's not wired that way to some extent.
Yeah, it's definitely a double-edged sword,
Yeah, for
because,
sure.
You still see those things going on in the world, and you still have that kind of that urge to compete and be like, man, I should be doing this because this person's doing this, and so you hold yourself to a standard to somebody that you actually don't want to be like. It's a kind of a weird
Exactly.
paradox.
Yeah, it's totally true. So I think, most of my little resolutions to myself that I need to work out more are just really because it's something I enjoy. There's like a lifelong search for that thing that I can do or we can do that um, is has a positive impact on the people around us, and our neighborhood, where we live, with our job and ourselves, and something that we enjoy doing. So I think a lot of my energy is just put into trying to be happy, healthy, trying to diversify what I do, for my body and my mind, and
Mm-hmm.
fitness wise, health and eating wise, trying to be more cognizant of that. Trying to get in and hit the heavy bag again because that's good for my brain. Trying to get
Yeah.
into yoga on a regular basis, eat well, do the things that I enjoy, and I think, man, if you can get your head feeling better and you can get your mind and your body in a good place, then it really allows other things to kind of domino into that positive environment for you. So I'm hoping that's real, and that's what I'm going to try to
Yeah.
focus on.
Basically, it's like the same sort of philosophy that get your house in order before you try and fix
Yep,
anything outside of it.
exactly.
Get your body, mind, spirit in order before you try and tackle all the other problems of the world.
Exactly. Exactly. I feel
Yeah.
like, if I'm not working out, if I'm not eating well, if I'm sluggish, if I have that brain fog, that's not doing anything for me to take positive steps in other aspects of my life. So I think that's the easiest thing for me to control. It's something that I enjoy, something that is easy for me to focus on, and hopefully it has a trickle down effect to the rest of everything that we do, man.
Man,
And,
trickle down doesn't work. That's already been
oh, you're right.
proven.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
But
Fucking
I just thought of
Reaganomics.
an actual traditional New Year's resolution that I
Ooh,
was thinking about.
okay.
Um, 2 books a month for the entire year.
Oh,
I
that's
was
good, man. We've talked
Yeah, I
about
like that.
that.
Yeah. I did a
Damn
little
it.
over a book a month for this last year. So I'm gonna try and double it to 2 books a month and have a good best of at the end of the year as far as like what I've read.
God, you kicked my ass on that. We have talked about, and if anybody has any feedback, we've talked about doing somewhat of a kind of book review podcast like once a month. And so far as Chris and I would read a book and then we would spend an episode discussing it, something that both of us would be interested in, fiction, nonfiction, whatever. We're not going to read
Yeah,
garbage, hopefully, for the most part. And, dude, I would
dude, I'm
still
all
like to
about the
do that.
romance novels.
Yeah. Me and you will just be on like 50 Shades of Grey. Hold on.
Oh,
Get ready for
I couldn't
this.
do it. I couldn't do it. But no,
But
we're gonna tackle some probably a wide variety, I would imagine, but a lot of I don't know how to what's the term that doesn't sound so highbrow, but more accomplished, respected, um, meaty books. Things with a lot of um, renowned insights and well respected authors and just important books, not just like for pleasure, leisurely reading necessarily.
yeah.
I mean, personally, that's why I get so addicted to books, and at least in my adulthood, because I love feeling when I get done with a book, feeling like I've learned something, I've grown a little bit in a certain area, and that's why I love the long form podcasts that we listen to, because at the end of it, you feel like, okay, I might not agree with everything, but I've if nothing else, I've learned where I stand on this subject.
Yeah.
Um, so there's a personal gain, definitely. But,
Yeah. And if you're lucky enough to find a good enough podcast that has experts on that can talk to a high level of, expertise on whatever the
yeah,
subject matter may be, I mean, you're better off for it, dude. I ingest so much podcasts throughout my day. Like, it's just so ridiculous. I'll literally, I'll listen to, easily 3 hours worth of podcasts a day across
yeah.
different, sections. And so there's a lot of intake there, man. And it's so much better for me than reading. But no, I want to get on the actual book reading bandwagon with you. Even if maybe I do an audiobook or something. But no, I'd like to actually sit down and
Well,
read a
half of my
goddamn
reading
book.
isn't actual reading; it's audiobooks.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't think anything wrong with that. I'm more of an Audible learner, anyways. So uh, I think that's one of the reasons I enjoy the audiobooks. But then there are times when I like to sit down. I tend to zone into a book. more than I do the audiobooks.
Yeah.
So if something's really capturing me, I prefer to just,
Yeah.
be able to sit down, look at the pages, and let the world melt away.
No, yeah, I need to get back to finding those books where you're sitting there and you're like, fuck, I have to go to sleep. Like,
Yep.
damn it. Okay, no, just let me read a
One more
little bit
chapter.
more. Yeah, let me
Yeah.
finish this chapter. And then you're like, fuck, I have to go to bed. I don't, okay. Okay.
It's a good feeling, man.
It is. That's great.
It's sort of like exercise, like you don't want
Yeah.
to do it sometimes. Some days you're just like, but when you're done with it, you feel great.
For sure.
Your mind feels good. Yeah. It's
For sure. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think those, I'm going to hammer them out, people, but those are my resolutions. The eating out thing, I'm going to cut back till I'm just saying right now, spitballing like once a week. We'll see if that's too easy. Maybe I'll make it a little more difficult. And then, oh, dude, I jumped rope today. Finally, I got that new
nice.
speed rope, and
Yeah.
I did 5 sets of 50, pretty much uninterrupted for the 50 jumps I did. I
Yeah.
whacked myself a few times, but that was pretty good. And then I jumped on a treadmill and I ran for a mile, and then I walked at a 15% incline for another 10 minutes after that. So
Nice.
my calves got pretty killed today. But for everybody out there that's listening, I'm in pretty decent shape. Like cardiovascularly, I could have gone longer, but I haven't ran in so long that my legs just can't sustain it for very long, dude. It's terrible.
Yeah. I know
It's
what you
terrible. But having said that, my point is, dude, to start small. It's fine. If you know that you can run a mile, it's okay if you just run a lap. And then you run a lap for a week, and then the week after you run 2 laps. Like Faraz Zahabi,
it's more than okay. That's the smart way to do
That's
it. The way
exactly.
it should be done.
that's if you know you can do 10 pull-ups, just do 5. Do sets of 5 for a week, and then the next week do 6 or 7, and you'll slowly build on those things. But it's okay, and it is good to start small as long as you're starting. It's not about putting 110% in necessarily every day at the gym. It's all about consistency. And it's not the gym, whatever you're doing in life, be consistent and you will see positive progress. And that's really what it's all about. Sometimes you put too much effort into a sprint or a short burst of energy into whatever it is you're doing. You burn yourself out. You don't get to get back to it for a week or two because it was just too much. And that's not going to have a positive impact on what you're trying to do. So start small, stay small, and just fucking grind, dude. Grind. That's what it's about.
Well, I don't know. Some people don't embrace the grind, but I think you're start small and give things time. I would say over
For sure.
instead of grinding, just give things time and consistency. The consistency and time, you can accomplish almost anything you want to do. It's not necessarily about intensity over a short period of time or, sprinting. It's even if you're walking, you're eventually going to get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
As long as you don't stop.
Yeah, walk that half mile if you can't run it. And then one day you'll be able to jog it. And then one day you'll be able to slow run that. And when I said grind, I didn't mean necessarily kill yourself. Just do the grind of, it's Wednesday, I'm supposed to do my walk today. I don't want to. You go do it. You don't have to physically beat yourself up, but you just go do it. Be consistent with whatever that is.
Give what you have. If you have 10%, today, and you're just like, oh, I don't have much. Okay, give 10%. If the next day you feel like you have 90, give 90. Like, don't beat yourself up. Don't hold yourself to too high of a standard that you fail, and then you start to fall back into that pit of sort of that self-loathing, resentment, failure feeling that we all get when we don't live up to our own standards or our own goals that we've set for ourselves. Be nice to yourself. Give yourself some room for inevitable occasional failures.
Yeah,
it's all about consistency, though. Just
that's
keep
so
going.
important. Last week I went to the gym. I hadn't been in there for a little while. I was on vacation with the kids, and I finally got back into it. And I came out and I had by my standards, a terrible workout. I was weak. I wasn't lifting what I should been. My energy level wasn't where it should be. And after all of that, being disappointed with myself, I was like, man, fuck it. Those days happen. I got in,
Mm-hmm.
I did it, and you know what? I'm going to get in tomorrow or the next day. I'm going to do it again, and we get back into a routine, and we easily get back to that spot, and that's all it is. And like you said, just be happy with yourself for what you do, for whatever effort you can put into what you're doing. And I think that's super important. That's what everybody take away from this for your New Year's resolution. Just find that thing that you're going to work on and build consistency in doing it, whatever it may be, man. Meditate. I don't even know. I don't know. Put in the time,
Yep.
and
Ditto.
that's gonna be huge.
Yeah. No, that's it.
That is it. I think this is it. That's it, man.
That's it, man.
I
Yeah.
think this is it for us. Happy New
We
Year,
we fixed 2019 already.
dude.
Done.
You're welcome, America. We
You're
did it.
welcome. Yep.
No, that's great. Hope you love the shit out of the new podcast. Not a huge difference, a little changes here and there, but
Oh, it's
yeah,
totally different, man.
it's totally different.
Totally
We just
different.
we flipped the table on this one, but
Yeah.
thank you as always for listening to us for as long as you did. Keep working hard and happy New Year to everybody out there.
All right, man.
That's it.
Peace.
Keep kicking ass. Be good to each other. Everybody, that was it. That was our inaugural podcast episode for You're Welcome America. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that we are kicking off the new year right. I hope that you are finding your balance of work, life, happiness, health, all of those things. I hope you're making positive steps for this new 2019 year. And I hope you enjoyed the shit out of our new-ish podcast, You're Welcome America. Thank you so much for listening. Please go ahead and subscribe to our pages if you haven't. Get ready to tune in. We're going to be doing these once a week. We're being more realistic about what we're going to try to do. We're going to be doing these once a week. They're going to come out on Monday for you. So you got to get your ass to work on that Monday morning. You're like, no. And instead of tuning in to whatever radio station you might listen to, your shock jock, nah, man, you put on You're Welcome America. You've got plenty of time to get you to work, and we'll be right there for you, entertaining your little earballs. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to have those ready for you on Mondays, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I'm going to hammer down. I know I talked about my New Year's resolutions. I'm going to come back on a future episode, hopefully next week. I'm going to come back with a more detailed version of exactly what I'm going to do for my resolution so you guys can hold me accountable to what I say I'm going to be doing. And we'll be doing updates hopefully throughout the year. I'm still doing these things, blah, blah, blah. I accomplished this goal, kicking ass, moving forward, and doing that. So I want all of you to please hold me personally responsible for all the things that I say I'm going to do and make sure I'm doing them. If not, call bullshit. Call me out on it. Say, Vince, what are you doing, man? You said we were going to do these things. What happened? You're slipping. You're slipping. That's not good. I don't want to slip. So let's do that, and let's do that together. I thank you so much for always sitting down, listening to us talk about whatever the hell it is we're talking about that day. And I hope that you enjoy it. We really do try to do this to, provide some sort of information to you, some sort of entertainment value, but also we just want to have some sort of positive impact. So if nothing else, if we bring some sort of positivity to your life, that's what we're aiming for. Take something away from this, continue to be positive, and that's it. That's it. Just have a positive outlook on life, especially for me when I sometimes don't. So make up for my shortcomings in that way. Can't say thank you enough to everybody that's ever listened to us, even for a short amount of time. We do this because we like it. That's it. We have no other reason for doing it. We just enjoy it. We enjoy talking about these things, and we hope we make some sort of a even tiny positive impact in the world, in your lives. And that's it. So Keep in communication with us. Let us know what you'd like to hear, criticisms, critiques, whatever. If you want to send us a thumbs up, that's great. We'll keep moving forward. We're going to keep putting these out. Whether or not people are listening or whatever, they'll be out there. All right, that's it. I've been talking way too much today. I'm going to wrap this shit up. Thank you, as always, and again, for listening. You guys are amazing. This is Your Welcome America, the podcast. Please take care and be good to each other. We'll see you next episode.